A lot of central bankers suggesting, including Mario Draghi today, that the economies are getting stronger. Yet 2005, you wrote the famous book Fault Lines, talking about things that others weren't seeing. Is there something that we're not seeing now? Are we overconfident about the economy?
Well, so recessions, as Janet and others have said, don't die of old age. They die because there are fragilities which have built up. The question is, what are those fragilities? One could be incipient inflation, which, of course, central bank tightening is an attempt to ward off. The second could be incipient financial sector fragilities, and the question is, where are they? Problem, of course, with a period of long accommodation like the one we've had is that leverage builds up, both explicit leverage, as we've seen in China, as we've seen in some of the countries like Canada, but also implicit leverage, positions that are hard to unwind. And I think what we're seeing now is the possibility that some of these might be sources of fragility. It's not a clear and present danger. But as the accommodation gets withdrawn, some of these will come to the fore.
Bubbles in some asset classes?
Well, some would argue that long-term bonds are very, very strongly priced at this point because of the degree of accommodation that has been there, and of course because of quantitative easing. Now, the point is, if accommodation is withdrawn at a measured pace, I think that it is possible to let the air out of some asset prices without causing enormous disruption. But of course, if the pace of withdrawal has to be tightened because of unforeseen contingencies, then of course you can get sharper price reactions.
Well, you've sat in the policymaker's seat. When you look at the issues that the central bankers face with asset price bubbles, is there anything more they could or should be doing?
Well, part of the problem is you don't know which sort of asset is bubbly and where the problems would really lie. For example, as you know, the 2001 stock market bubble turned out to be not such a big problem. On the other hand, a much smaller subprime mortgage problem, at least in terms of overall magnitudes, dollar magnitudes, caused enormous upheaval. So it depends on whether it's a credit problem or a stock market problem. It depends on where it is located, how transparent holdings of that particular instrument are. So it's very hard for central bankers to tell a priori, this will be a problem, this is something we got to combat, which is why I think at some point, more accommodation, standing pat, waiting for some more activity may in fact be the wrong policy. It makes sense to start withdrawing when you can before it's forced on you.